What's up, everybody? So today is Wednesday and we got up here pretty early. Well, early for me. It's almost 6 o'clock. We're gonna get started. We're gonna get started spraying. We're trying to beat the heat. We're putting fungicide on still. Haven't got much fungicide put on. It's been getting too hot too quick in the mornings, so we haven't been able to run very long. So I'm gonna get up early, try to get off 200 acres in the morning, and maybe come back and hit it this evening. But we gotta sneak through this little creek real quick. We're at my grandma's place, getting ready to spray her beans. Beans look good. I mean, the crops look good for what they're going through. They definitely just need a drink of water. But, here we are. But we'll get her unfolded, and then we'll get started, hammer down, and we'll try to get something done today. I don't know how much we'll get done, but I'll check in a little while when it gets a little lighter out. So, I know what you guys are thinking, you know, oh, it only broke down because it's a Deere. And, you know, you think that I'm going to hate on everybody else's equipment and whatnot. Well, you know, to tell you the truth, Deere does break down a lot. Just not as much as, you know, the other colored machines. Well, now we're getting ready to, well, I just took this piece apart, but this keeps the tension on your breakaway boom. This is spring tension out here. But as I mentioned before, you know, the sprayer came from a local, not a local co-op, a co-op about a couple hours away. So you can only imagine, you know, the ground they're running over, the ground we're running over, you know, it all gets pretty rough. So that, you know, the breakaway booms do get abused quite a bit. They're flopping the wind, but so we're gonna sit here. We're gonna replace basically this whole chain, pin. New bushing for this, new bushing for this, new bushing here, and this whole piece. So basically all this is going to be brand new. This is just getting very wore out. It sways too much, so we're trying to get it all fixed up and make sure we get it back to where it should be. So we're going to get all this replaced and get to her. Well, I had to pause on that. I had to order another part for making. Should be here morning, afternoonish. But I got taken apart, and this piece really wallered out. It's a pretty tiny piece, but we're doing it. We might as well do it right, like Dad always says. So we got this piece coming in. We'll get that put back in, but overall, not too bad. It's been pretty easy getting all that stuff fixed. I was more so worried about that leaking on the sprayer, but nothing that a couple $1,000 won't fix, of course. You know, parts are crazy nowadays. But so is equipment, so is vehicles, so is everything. You can thank the president for that one. Huh? What's up, everybody? We're back. About 9:30. I finished up my grandma's place, and then I hurried up and took the truck after I had the sprayer moved to this bottom that we're in. Went and topped it off to finish this down here. I got 200 acres to do. So 160 of it is landlord's, and then the other 36-ish is Dad's. It's all pretty well connected to each other, though. And in fact, Dad has a 30 right in the middle of the landlord's piece. But, pretty good beans. I don't know what variety it is. I'd have to look it up, but they're every bit of, well, I'm almost 6 foot tall. They're up to my belt. They're pretty tall beans, of course. You guys know they don't have to be tall to make anything. They can be short and make the same amount. But regardless, they look pretty good. They got good color to them. Whatever I showed you guys of why we put fungicide on, this field has a lot of beetles in it. A lot of them. And when I say beetles, I'm referring to the Japanese beetles that eat the leaves. And there's a lot of them in here. So this fungicide should take care of that. we're running the smaller tips that we would usually do for 10 gallons per pass. So we're running the smaller tips to sit there and create more pressure, more mist, to get coverage over all the plants very good. And then it's also blowing it down more, so it's hitting more than just the top layer. So we're doing all that. I almost got this first tank already done, and I got 2,000 left in the truck. But that's basically all we got going on here. As you can see how much it's misting, which I had to lower my boom. Whenever we do first pass, you got to set the boom height, and then so I think it was set like 5 feet above the ground, something like that. Well, the beans are so tall, and I don't know if my readers are off a little bit, but I went ahead and lowered it down about a foot from where it was, so it sets about 2 feet above the beans, 2 to 3. That way, it really gets down in the beans. We've been pretty fortunate. We haven't really had a second pass in a lot of our bean fields. I think we did maybe 1,000, 1,500. Little to no water hemp or anything out in the fields that we didn't do. If there's anything out there, it's usually a little bit of grass on the in-row and voluntary corn, which we're actually, the dealership that we got the fungicide from, they told us that we could run a little bit of clethodim, which is a grass and voluntary corn killer. So we're running a little bit of that in here with it, sit here and try to kill all the voluntary corn and the grass along the in-rows. Because once you guys see harvest season, you're going to understand why we like, 1 second, it's hard to hold a camera and sit here and talk. Never thought I'd ever say that. Anyway, once harvest season comes, we run the bean heads. So the bean heads we'll run is 40-foot drapers. And when I say drapers, they have belts instead of an auger, and I'd have to look at the other version. But regardless, any bean head, if there's grass along the inrows, it's going to struggle to cut through because you're cutting with a sickle bar, which is like essentially just a bunch of knives at the very bottom of the bean head that we're going to hook onto a combine. Regardless, we want all the grass out of here because it makes it a lot more easier to cut beans, and it's a lot easier on the combine to thrash the grass and all the trash from the actual beans that are on the plant. That's why we like to have our fields clean, and honestly it looks better, keeps the plants healthier, it doesn't take moisture away from the plants, and you know, landlords like to have their fields looking good too and take care of, so we do the best we can for all that.